pounds of ballast built into the boat, as well as 4 extra fat sacks to simulate a few people sitting in the boat as well.
This week we're using an array of weight measurement probes. Where that's connected to a computer, we're logging the data. What we're measuring is the wave heights at various stations. We have an array of probes that stick out into the water for 100 feet or so. 5 different stations. We're measuring wave height, and that's all being collected.
So anyway, you can see we're trying to figure out things about erosion, because there's been complaints around the country about the ballasted boats, and we're finding that, as Kevin said, a breaking wave actually dissipates much quicker than a rounded wave, which you'll get with a fishing boat or a 3-event tournament boat or most outboards. So interesting data. I just thought it would be interesting for you. With that, Kevin, can we play the inflatable video? And then we'll open it up to any more discussion. And I'm sure the Sergeant Captain will be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Tell them one of the man seal.
That's it.
Welcome. Tubing is a popular sport among towed water sport participants, particularly for those participating in water sports for the first time.
There is a tremendous assortment of different devices that can be towed behind a boat intended for 1 or more passengers.
Yet, accident statistics from the U.S. Coast Guard show tubing is the towed water sports activity with the most injuries in recent years. Therefore, it is important for riders and boat operators to understand the risks involved in tubing to help avoid a major accident. Throughout this tutorial, we are going to refer to all towing vessels, boats, and personal watercraft as boats. The improper use of tubes can cause injury or death. Please pay attention to this tutorial.
The safety of a tube's riders is primarily the responsibility of the driver. Always use common sense and good judgment. If a safety lanyard is provided on the boat, ensure that the driver has it affixed in the appropriate manner. Alcohol, drugs, and water sports do not mix. An impaired rider or driver is far more likely to make poor judgments regarding speed and distance. It is your responsibility to fully understand and follow the warning labels found on the tube and rope, as well as the manufacturer's instructions on usage.
All towed participants must wear a properly fitted life jacket approved by your country's governing agency. Worn or ripped life jackets should be discarded and replaced.
Make sure the tube is inflated according to the manufacturer recommendations so that it is firm while riding. Be aware that a tube's inflation level can change due to the heat of the sun or the temperature of the water. It is also your responsibility to understand the state and local laws regarding towboats and towables.
It is important to use an inflatable specific tow rope that is rated with the appropriate strength for the number of passengers that are being towed. The number of riders should not exceed the manufacturer's recommendations. Using an improper tow rope can result in serious injury.
Read the tow rope's manual and warning before use.
Never use a tow rope that has knots, and never use a rope that is frayed or sun damaged. The tow rope, connection point, and inflatable should be inspected before each use. The tow rope should always be affixed to the boat using an approved attachment point. If an inflatable were to separate from the boat during a turn, the passengers of the inflatable would be sent on an uncontrolled path, possibly into a fixed object or another boat. Follow the instructions in the boat owner's manual and the owner's manual for the tower, if equipped.
While it is a good practice for the driver to have a rear view mirror, always have a spotter on the boat who is watching the participants on the inflatable. Pre-established hand signals with the driver, spotter, and riders are vital.
Rope entanglement is very serious. Prior to throttling up, be sure that the slack is out of the rope and clear of obstructions. The riders and inflatable are clear of rope tangles, and the riders clearly express "hit it" before applying the throttle.